Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Star Wars Expanded Universe, now redubbed by Disney, or current Lucasfilm, whichever way you slice it, Legends. So, the interesting thing with this, I might have done a goof, because I try to do these in sequential order, in chronological order of how these things went down. This was a bit of a difficult one, and I feel like I got some spoilers. So, this might, this is going to be, released, right after I finish Vector Prime, though I might put this after other books, depending on what I know in the future, like in my playlist of these. I don't have any notes, because it was a short story, and in the same way with comics, I felt like, not that there wasn't enough to digest, but because it's so short, like only 100 pages, I didn't think I should spoil anything, really, or go into detail about anything, because it's so short. Just, you can get it for like $1 or $2 on Kindle, so I don't want to really say anything. Is for $1 or $2, is it worth your money? I think so. So it's interesting. Today we have Boba Fett, a practical man. Now, Boba Fett, in an expanding universe, he did not die. Now, he also might not have died in the Disney universe if he appears in The Mandalorian Season 2, but whatever. Even still, if they did that, Legends did it first, with Boba Fett surviving the Sarlacc pit. But, it's many years later. This is the New Jedi Order time. So we have like a 40-year-old, 50-year-old Fett at this point. Like, we have an old guy. And, well, seeing as how Luke wasn't even born yet, and he was in his 40s, and Boba Fett was in the prequels, I have to imagine he's in his, 50s by now. So, if not his 60s. So he's old. But, if you play the KOTOR games, and I'm sure there's other Expanded Universe material that goes into it, but I only know it from the KOTOR games, Boba Fett is the new Mandalore. He is the new head of the Mandalorians, which are apparently back. I don't know if I missed something, if that's going to be explained later, but there are just Mandalorians again. They're kind of out and about. Maybe they were always there and I just didn't know about it, but that seems a little weird that I haven't really heard about them till now. I've only known about Boba Fett. But they're all around now, apparently. Okay. I'm a little confused about that, but it's fine. So this short story takes place prior to Vector Prime, during Vector Prime, and a little bit after Vector Prime. This might take place during the 2 books that I have yet to read, which is the books by Michael Stackpole, Dark Tide and Ruin. But I don't know. But wherever I put this in the playlist, it'll be because I have future knowledge. Though I feel like I was spoiled on a bit. Because it goes to 3 months later and talks about how the Vong invaded, and where I left off, they did not invade because the faction that we saw got, it was taken care of, but of course we knew that more of them were going to show up later. But I really loved, and I don't know if this is the first time, I'm sure it's not, that Karen Travis has wrote about this, but the Mandalorian culture in comparison to the Vong culture was fascinating to read about. Another thing about this short story is this didn't come out until after New Jedi Order. This was something that came out in the paperback version of Legacy of the Force Sacrifice, which we won't get to for a long time. But this came as like a little short story added in that. So, but yeah, because I was thinking like, Klingon and stuff is what the Vong are like. I didn't even stop to think about the Mandalorians, because in essence they're similar yet completely different. And I love that. I love hearing Nominor talk about the Mandalorians and how like he could respect them if they weren't using technology. And also at the same time, you even see Boba Fett, like the most cold killer in the world, who even he's like getting disgusted by the things the Yuuzahn Vong do to people. And it's not even really for the people, it's just like the sick, like enjoyment they get out of doing it. Like, he does everything, as it's titled, Boba Fett, a practical man. He does things for a job, and that's it. He takes no pleasure in it. He doesn't enjoy it. He doesn't hate it. It's just something he does. It's his work. But for them, they take this satisfaction, this almost ecstasy from inflicting harm. And he just finds that absolutely appalling. Whereas they find it absolutely appalling that they would use freaking armor like that and weapons and stuff, but yeah, also respect how they used to be warriors, so they don't really seem to see that now. But yeah, so just kind of goes over like the early parts of the invasion, which I haven't seen no invasion, so I guess I'm a little spoiled. But overall, for a to like a dollar or two short story during the Yuuzahn Vong invasion, I think it's worth your time. I think it's interesting enough to warrant buying it, and it's not like a big investment. It's like $1 or $2. Hell, that might be what you want to read first and see if you even want to start buying a 19-book series. But yeah, overall, and this is the first Karen Traviss thing that I've read, because I haven't read any of her other works. I mean, this wasn't the greatest story I've ever read, but this alone, and I know Matt Wilkins, who's become one of my favorite YouTubers, who's going through the expanded universe. He does not care for Karen Traviss, though he's also in the minority. But from what I've read, I'm excited to read her novels when we get to them. So, that's pretty much it. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. This is probably one of my shortest ones, just due to the fact that it's a short story. I have a couple other short stories that we'll be getting throughout this entire era of just the Yuuzahn Vong invasion, which takes place over 5 years. So we'll have all the novels, all the short stories. So it's going to be a crazy, crazy time. But I hope you'll join me on that huge epic journey, and I'll see you next time in the next video. And if you're watching this in my playlist in the future, and this shows up after other books that I haven't reviewed yet, well, that's why I was a little confused on where to place this. So, anyway, I'll catch you next time. Bye.